Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Come and pray with us because there are some souls still around here.
2 years and a permanent plan to remember. A memorial is being planned to mark those 2 years since 53 migrants were found dead in a trailer on the southwest side. Among them, fathers, husbands, and sons, adding an extra layer of pain on this Father's Day. Loved ones paid tribute today by visiting a memorial on Quintana Road. As our Daniela Ibarra explains, there will soon be a permanent place for people to come grieve and pray.
53 crosses, 53 lives lost.
I love them.
Nearly 2 years later, Angelita Olvera still can't wrap her head around what happened here on Quintana Road.
How could they have not given them water, air condition, or something in that 18-wheeler?
Angelita didn't know a single soul who died in what authorities called a horrific human tragedy. But she doesn't want anyone to forget them.
They were human beings.
Several times a week, she comes to clean up the crosses. It's a solemn place for families to grieve.
Their loved one literally gave up their life, probably trying to help them out.
And soon, Councilwoman Adriana Rocha Garcia says this slab will become a permanent memorial.
And we figured that this memorial might be an opportunity for them to come pray and maybe get a tiny bit of closure, even figuring out exactly where their loved one was when they took their final breath.
53 blocks of limestone will represent the 53 lives lost. Each one will have a different height matching a victim's age.
I'm happy that that's going to be done here because maybe one day we can't come and fix our crosses, but at least there will be something down there that is permanent.
Another permanent change Angelita hopes to see is to current immigration policies.
I just hope some reform.
She says she'll continue to clean and pray.
These were 53 souls that were lost here.
53 crosses, 53 names, and a city promising to honor them forever.
It's showing that compassion and offering our prayers and thoughts for those who were lost here.
Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
And a rosary service is planned for the 29th. That's 2 days after the official anniversary. For details, head to KSAT.com. And then this morning, San Antonio police found 5 migrants that were victims of a human smuggling operation as they investigated a drive-by shooting. Police were called to the 900 block of South Walter Street on the east side and found a 24-year-old man had been hurt. While investigating, they found a 17-year-old migrant in a nearby pickup truck that had been grazed in the shooting. And inside that truck were 4 other migrants. Both the teen and the man were taken to the hospital to get checked out. Now police are looking for the shooting suspects as well as the person involved in smuggling those migrants. All 5 of those migrants, by the way, were taken to the city's Migrant Resource Center. An update now to the mass shooting at the Juneteenth Festival in Round Rock last night. There is now a description of the shooter who left 2 people dead and 14 others injured. Tan Radford from KTBC in Austin was in the latest Round Rock PD update and explains what investigators are asking from the public. And that was Tan Radford reporting from Round Rock. There is also a $5,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest. That number to call, 512-218-5500. Now to a quick heads up concerning traffic. Those portions of roads closed at I-10 and Loop 1604 interchange will only stay blocked off for just a few more hours. It's part of the ongoing road construction work that's been happening nearly every weekend. The roads should reopen tomorrow morning at 5. Well, from the looks of it, dads at Brackenridge Park got a special celebration today. Families from all over San Antonio visited Old Brack to soak up the sun and spend time with dads and fatherly figures in their life. From everyone here at KSAT, we want to wish you a happy Father's Day if you got out to celebrate today.
And hopefully you had the sunscreen and you were taking breaks because it was a little hot. But yes, hopefully everybody had a great Father's Day. Did your husband have a great Father's Day?
He did. He had a very good Father's Day. We didn't make him cook. He was excited about it.
That's nice. A little bit of a break.
Yes.
Got to relax.
Yeah, we had some family in. Very nice.
That's wonderful. Well, yes, it was a very hot one out there today. Yeah. We actually did hit 100 degrees here in town. It's still going to be hot out there into our Monday. Feeling like the triple digits in the afternoon. Going to start off in the upper 70s with mostly cloudy skies. We'll see a few more peaks of sunshine return throughout the second half of the day. Highs still reaching for about 97. Also could be a little breezy, especially in the evenings, like what we've seen the past couple of days. Some gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour possible. And we'll keep a 20% potential tomorrow to find an isolated afternoon storm. About a 30% potential into your Tuesday, but then bigger changes look to work back into our forecast here locally. We are going to be monitoring a disturbance moving into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico over the next 48 hours. It is expected to fling some deeper tropical moisture into parts of South Texas. What does that mean for us here in San Antonio? Higher rain chances, scattered tropical downpours possible, especially in the Wednesday and Thursday time frame. Along with some needed rain, also some cooler temperatures look to work back in as well. So we're going to time out all those details. Get you the latest coming up in just a bit, Court.
All right, thanks, Mia. Well, crews all over California dealing with fires as red flag warnings pop up across parts of the Southwest. The Post fire just north of Los Angeles, it has already burned more than 12,000 acres and is only 2% contained. About 1,200 campers had to be evacuated from a nearby state park, and 3 hikers needed to be rescued. Hundreds of firefighters are trying to calm the blaze from the ground and up above, but the conditions are not helping.
The winds are probably going to be the biggest factor in battling this blaze.
While just outside of San Bernardino, California, the different fire has already burned more than 1,000 acres. Hot, dry, and windy conditions are helping fuel those flames as well, and those conditions are unfortunately expected to continue this week. In your Nightbeat news flash, 7 people were shot and an 8th person hurt running away from gunfire after it erupted at a pop-up party in Massachusetts this morning. Police say hundreds of people were at the event around 2 this morning when those shots were fired. Investigators haven't specified what led up to the shooting or how many suspects might be involved. The Israeli Defense Force says it is starting a daily tactical pause in one part of the southern Gaza to allow more aid into the war-torn area. The IDF says the fighting in Rafah will continue, but those daily pauses will run from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. daily until further notice. And finally, consumer spending on gifts for Father's Day is expected to reach $22 billion. The National Retail Federation ran a survey trying to pinpoint spending on dads this year. They say this year's estimation is the second highest in the survey's history and a little bit less than last year's spending, which was $22.9 billion. Half of everyone surveyed say they're buying for a father or stepfather, and the other half buying for a husband, son, brother, friend, or grandfather. And that's a look at your Nightbeat news flash. All right, decades of doing one job might seem boring to some, but for one Southside barber, he says it's almost like he's never worked a day in his life. Why he's still cutting hair after all these years. Next on the Nightbeat. Well, we're about halfway through June, but there's still so many Pride events to celebrate in San Antonio and our surrounding area. So just scan the QR code on your screen. You can get a list of every Pride event happening between now and the end of the month. Well, you know the saying. It says, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's exactly how a Southside San Antonio barber is feeling as he rounds out more than 60 years cutting hair. The Night Team Zaria Oates wanted to know what keeps him going after all those years and why he's never left his San Antonio community.
I just thank the good Lord for letting me come to work every day.
You typically don't ask someone their age, but when you've been cutting hair as long as Pete Hernandez, it becomes a part of your legacy.
I've been cutting hair for going on 64 years, but 63 of that was right here.
I just think he's different. He's not the typical barber.
She would know. She's his niece. Today, Pete is 82, but he remembers cutting hair in 1982. Like it was yesterday.
Boys' haircuts was $1, men's haircuts was $1.25, and flat tops was $1.50. So, yeah, you had to cut a lot of haircuts to make a living.
That didn't stop Pete from pursuing his passion. even though his beloved south side of San Antonio has stayed packed with competition.
Barbershops are popping up like Taco Hut.
He's going to offer that difference for the older clientele, the people that really want that still one-on-one. I know who my barber is.
Pete's Barbershop is called Big and Little. It's named after a previous owner to reflect big in service and little in size because of the owner's height. While Pete doesn't share the same height range, his dedication to preserving the Southside community is strong. So, of course, he kept the name.
Anytime you need a haircut, just call.
Yeah, that's what I love about you. He can just call you and you'll open the doors for me.
It's a feeling you're not guaranteed at every barbershop, and it's a love for a job you're not guaranteed in every career. But this is a community Pete spent his life building that he says can't be replaced.
Competition is fierce, but hey, if you're a good barber, you'll keep your customers. So I've been blessed, you know. That's my motto. If you're happy, I'm happy.
We're so proud of him. We're so proud of him. Like, all of our family is so proud of him. And
so Pete's life advice is to love what you do and do what you love. In San Antonio, Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Wow. That was it. We just, as soon as we saw the cash register, we were like, look at the cash register. It's like, it's a time capsule in there.
I bet they could tell some stories too. Like you've been in an industry for so long, and you've seen your clients grow up, you've seen their children grow up, and then just the world change too.
So
Those are some of my favorite
$1
stories.
haircuts.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I used to have a series called called The Lost Arts, and I did one on these old school barbershops, and I feel like I need to bring it back for him. I want to know more.
We want to know more.
It's amazing. Well, thank you, Zaria, for sharing that story. It's so neat to see those features.
I wish them all the best. That is fantastic.
Keep going.
Keep going. And the passion is what makes it even better. Absolutely. All right, Courtney, we've got a lot to talk about, kind of switching gears.
I was hoping we could just keep talking about this.
Which, I mean, we can, but we have more good news, increasing rain chances. So that could help out a little bit. And yes, maybe some cooler temperatures that come along with these increasing rain chances. So just a few isolated storms possible tomorrow and into Tuesday, especially in the afternoon southeast of San Antonio. But those better chances to find some scattered tropical downpours return to the forecast by the middle of the week, specifically Wednesday and into Thursday, all as we monitor a tropical disturbance moving into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. This has been the setup today, though. We've been sandwiched in between two different lobes of high pressure, one off to our east and one off to our west, which is why it was pretty dry out there and it was hot. But take a look at this disturbance that's now pushing across the Yucatan Peninsula in the Gulf of Mexico. This is going to be the area to monitor over the next couple of days. The National Hurricane Center also monitoring this area outlined in red, giving it a 70% potential for the disturbance to develop into at least a tropical depression. Regardless on if that happens or not, as it moves farther off to the west, northwest, and closer to Mexico, what we're going to be monitoring here at home is how far north does the tropical moisture associated with that disturbance make it into parts of South Texas. We are expecting some of that thicker tropical moisture to move into our neck of the woods by Wednesday and Thursday. We're hoping to put it to use in the form of some scattered downpours out there. However, at this time, it is still just a little too early for exact rain totals. We need this system to move over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico, get itself together a little bit so we can see exactly where it's going to track, because that essentially is what's going to determine how much rain we see here at home. With the current trends that we've seen today, this is what we're expecting as of right now. Closer to San Antonio, in between about 2 to 3 inches possible. A little bit less the farther north and west that you go across the southern Edwards Plateau, even into the hill country, up to an inch possible there. But even higher totals do look to be situated closer to the Gulf coastline. Disclaimer though, just know over the next few days, as we really start to get a better look at this system, a clearer picture of where exactly it's going to go, these ranges may need to be adjusted either up or down. And if they are adjusted up a little bit, we also may need to monitor for a few minor flooding issues come that Wednesday and Thursday time frame. So just keep checking back with us, and of course, we'll continue to get you the latest. Until then, this is the scene outside right now, 86 degrees here in San Antonio. It has been a little gusty. If you've stepped outside this evening, you've likely noticed that. We've seen wind gusts out of the southeast upwards of 25 to even 35 miles per hour at times, still dealing with some of the humidity, so it feels like the low 90s right now. Here's a look at those air temperatures across the area. 87 in Poteet, 84 in Comfort. Currently still 91 for the air temperature, though, out west in Uvalde. Through the overnight, much like what we saw last night, I think we're going to see a few more clouds start to build back in. We're going to start off right around 77 degrees by 7 a.m. tomorrow, already pushing 90 for any lunchtime plans, and then your high temperatures topping off near 97 in the Alamo City tomorrow afternoon, likely feeling like the low triple digits. There's that 20% potential for an isolated storm, especially south and east of San Antonio, across the coastal plains by lunchtime, even into the afternoon and early evening. Most of us, unfortunately, do look to miss out, but we'll bump it up to a 30% chance into Tuesday, and then we'll start to see those better scattered downpours take shape into the Wednesday and Thursday time frame. By the way, coming up in the next half hour, if you missed it, we've got the latest drought monitor update that was released last week. We'll talk about maybe what we could see with more rain on the way this week. But for now, again, mid-80s, a little muggy and breezy out there, Court.
All right. A preview of Instant Replay coming up right after this. The San Antonio Brahmas faced the Birmingham Stallions on spring football's biggest stage today. Even Tom Brady was there to present the trophy. Mary Rominger joins us here in the studio for a preview of what's coming up on Instant Replay. Not what we wanted to see.
No, but Brady being there is huge for the growth of the UFL.
Yeah.
Yes, the Brahmas came in as the only cause of Birmingham's loss this season. The Stallions are a proven team, but could San Antonio have won their first ever UFL championship?
To add a little insult to injury, I don't think in 3 years of being on these sidelines, I've ever seen a group react the way I just did. I mean, every San Antonio defender was off the bench, screaming, steaming, hot, furious.
You know, Brock, I can't fault them for that reaction. I mean, can you?
Nope.
Oof, this is not what we expected to see today in the UFL championship game between San Antonio and Birmingham. The Brahmas failed to score for the first time this season.
It's a feeder, left to right.
And he drops it home again, McIlroy.
Going into the final round, Rory McIlroy sat 3 strokes behind leader Bryson DeChambeau. But on a quest to capture his first major in a decade, McIlroy rattled off 5 birdies to take the lead on Championship Sunday. However, down the stretch, the pressure got to him. We'll show you the dramatic ending.
Well, first of all, we need to work hard this summer. We need to be consistent in the weight room. We need to be consistent in summer strength and conditioning. And we need to be consistent in the classroom.
High school football teams in the area have kick-started their strength and conditioning this summer, giving us a window to check in with new faces stepping into head coaching roles like at Brandeis and Roosevelt high schools. But what other changes are coming to the entire state when it comes to the playoffs and a chance for a championship? We'll explain. And if you tuned into any UFL games this spring, we're asking you, should the NFL be more like the UFL with its heightened viewing experience, from drones to robot dogs? That's tonight's Instant Replay poll question, so be sure to vote now. The answers and much, much more are right ahead on Instant Replay at the start of the hour.
The robots are creepy, but I think they're a crowd favorite. Yeah,
Yeah.
they like it. All right, thanks, Mary. All right, it's a program working to prevent domestic violence in San Antonio by focusing on fathers. The Fatherhood campaign has helped over 10,000 dads, and this weekend the community is celebrating them. There is some breaking news we want to tell you about. Bexar County jail officials just released a statement announcing an inmate has died in their custody. Right now on your screen, this is Juan Moreno Hernandez. County officials say they had to administer Narcan to him last night after they found him having a medical episode. Narcan is used to reverse opioid overdoses or fentanyl poisonings. Jail officials say it appears he ingested a substance to trigger that episode, but they still haven't confirmed to us what happened. The source of that possible substance also being investigated because another inmate was found found unconscious as well. After getting Narcan, they regained consciousness and were taken to University Hospital for treatment. The Bexar County Precinct 2 Constable's Office and Bexar County Sheriff's Office are involved in this investigation. And of course, we will follow up on KSAT.com and on air. Well, it is a program to prevent violence in our community by showing love and attention to fathers. The Fatherhood Campaign has helped thousands of local dads deal with their own trauma, learn about healthy relationships, and become incredible parents. The director told me how their support classes and hotline are working to stop the cycle of violence in San Antonio and beyond.
I grew up in the inner city, San Antonio, 78207 area. I was a child in a family violent home, very intense home. Now, couple that with an intense violent community and then lack of resources. I shouldn't be here right now.
Survivor Frank Castro has spent his career trying to pour love back into communities like his by focusing on one thing.
Why fatherhood? Why is that specific pillar so crucial?
We know, and studies have shown, that father involvement is very critical in so many different areas, from academic achievement to success in life.
Experts on violence will say those who grew up in violent areas or violent families are more likely to have violence in their lives later.
Right, unless we talk about it in a healthy and helpful way. But we have to be willing to be vulnerable.
So 24 years ago, Castro created a space for that vulnerability, the San Antonio Fatherhood Campaign.
We can have discussions about how do I parent my child, to issues of domestic violence, to child wellness.
That can be in a classroom or counseling setting or just over a cup of coffee.
I myself have seen over 10,000 men that I have provided workshops, classes, mentoring.
Most of that starts with a phone call.
And we get as many as 400 calls a month. It's a hotline where you can just ask a question. You don't even have to come in. You can do it anonymously and say, this is what's going on. What do you guys suggest? What do you guys recommend?
And this is the office where men can physically come to get their resources. Rooms like this can double as counseling rooms. And as you can see, resources like diapers, always available.
And every year on Father's Day weekend, the entire network gathers for the Father's Day Fiesta, a big celebration surrounded by resources and true fellowship.
Men actually honor other men by letting them know, I've seen you as a member of our community, as a role model.
Dads of all kinds accepting that praise in front of the next generation who will truly know fatherly love.
And that event was this weekend. It was incredible, and we're so glad the community was able to get together for that. If you or someone you know is in a relationship that is abusive, please know that there is so much help for you. Scan the QR code on your screen right now. That'll direct you to a long list of resources. You can also visit ksat.com/domestic violence. And this Wednesday, we invite you to join KSAT and AARP Texas for a special conversation about Social Security. Maybe you haven't thought about how the program affects you now, but chances are you'll need it for income once you retire. And the fact is, if Congress does nothing to sustain Social Security's finances, you may lose some of your benefits. That's what this discussion is all about. Our very own Stefania Jimenez is hosting it Wednesday night at 7 on KSAT 12, our YouTube channel, our website, and KSAT Plus. So lots of ways for you to tune in. On the political front, President Biden and former President Trump were hot on the campaign trail this weekend. Biden's team says they raised $30 million at a star-studded event in Hollywood last night as the president blasted the Supreme Court. And as ABC's Mary Alice Parks reports, Trump was in the key battleground state of Michigan looking to woo black voters.
President Biden warning of the dangers of a second Trump presidency, telling supporters at a star-studded Los Angeles fundraiser last night that this election will have major consequences for the nation's highest court.
The next president is likely to have 2 new Supreme Court nominees, 2 more.
Biden issuing blunt criticism of the court, which right now includes 3 Trump-appointed justices.
The Supreme Court has never been as out of kilter as it is today. I mean, never.
That message appearing to resonate. The Biden campaign announcing today they raised an eye-popping $30 million from the event and revealing a plan to mobilize volunteers around the upcoming second anniversary of the Supreme Court's controversial decision to end the guaranteed right to abortion. Writing in a statement, Americans across the country vividly remember where they were 2 years ago when Trump's Supreme Court majority overturned Roe, sending women's health care into chaos and putting their lives in danger. On stage supporting Biden, his former boss, President Obama, who spoke directly to Republican voters who might be disenchanted with Trump.
I think part of what has happened over the last several years is we've normalized behavior that used to be disqualifying.
In Michigan last night, former President Trump addressing his own supporters, repeating false claims that he won the 2020 election.
We need to watch the vote. We need to guard the vote. We need to stop the steal.
All right, did you know San Antonio's police chief is a cat lover? Chief William McManus and the rest of the department are working all month on getting some cats adopted this month. The reason, next on the Nightbeat. June is National Adopt a Cat Month. So what does that have to do with the San Antonio police chief? Well, if you follow Chief William McManus on X, you may know that he's got a soft spot for cats. Join the club. Sarah Costa spoke with the chief about his love for the felines and how you could do your part by adopting one of the many cats and kittens at our shelters.
I'm kind of an animal guy, but cats happen to be one of my favorites.
He denies being a cat whisperer, but he's probably just being modest after San Antonio Police Chief William McManus did our entire interview cool and collected with the kitten crawling on his shoulders. So cat's out of the bag. Chief is a cat guy. If you follow him on Twitter, he posts about the cats he has been feeding for the past few years at downtown headquarters.
Do you keep the cat food in your car with you at all times?
Yeah, if you go out there right now, you'll see a big basket of cat food in the rear of my car.
The headquarter kitties definitely have a tail on Chief's vehicle.
When they see the car pull up, they'll all come out. And I drive by there on the weekends when nobody's around, and I usually go in on Saturdays and I'll feed them in the mornings, and sometimes Sundays if I'm not doing anything, I'll run down and feed them.
He is sharing his love of cats because he wants to raise awareness for Cat Adoption Month. San Antonio Animal Care Services is at full capacity in its feline section and is encouraging cat or kitten adoptions, fosters, and its community cat program.
We have a lot of feral cats in San Antonio, but we also have a number of organizations, Animal Care Services included, that are proposing and supporting the only real life-saving solution, and that is trap, neuter, return.
The community cat program is for when a feral cat shows up at your door, like Chief's headquarter kitties. The program helps you trap, spay and neuter, vaccinate, and release them back to their community, where they live out their life outdoors, and people like Chief provide them with food, water, and outdoor shelter.
There's a need. I mean, there's so many stray animals on the street, and if they can be taken care of, great.
And as for the names of Chief's adopted cats,
my kids named them Luna and Tuffy, and the outdoor one is named Outdoor Kitty.
Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
She got him to laugh.
Not to be confused with indoor kitty, outdoor kitty.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. I didn't know that he was a member of the Cat Lovers Club, self-proclaimed crazy cat lady. Very proud of it. I don't know.
Absolutely.
When you love cats that much, though, I need to call Chief and ask him, how do you not take them all home with you? Because I can't even go to ACS and do a news story without calling my husband. Just one. Can you just take one?
Please, can I just have another cat? Please.
We already rescued one in the KSAT live truck years ago, and she's the cutest. So why can't the next one be another?
You're going to have to share that story on your Facebook or something, because if y'all haven't heard this story, it's one of the best stories that I've ever heard. Yes. But yes, all the cats all the time. They're so precious.
I'm glad Chief is in the club.
That's amazing.
Adopt those cats. They're the best.
All of the cats. Yes, adopt them. All right, let's head outside with live cam tonight. Again, temperatures in the mid-80s right now here in San Antonio. We've seen a few clouds work across the San Antonio and South Central Texas sky out there today. In fact, what I want to show you now is a time lapse from today. And there's a reason why I'm showing this. You can see, yes, the passing clouds providing a little bit of shade here and there. They weren't able to grow tall enough for many of us to produce a lot of rain, unfortunately. But there was a lot of blue in the sky, and the visibility from that vantage point on live cam today, you could actually see downtown. It could be a little different tomorrow and into Tuesday. Yes, we've been dealing with the agricultural smoke from the fires out in Mexico these past several weeks, but tomorrow, and yes, even into Tuesday as well, what we actually could find ahead of this tropical system moving into the southwestern Gulf is a bit of Saharan dust. 'Tis this season to also monitor that as well. Oftentimes just creates a hazy sky. We see more vibrant and colorful sunrises and sunsets. In more severe cases where we have higher concentrations of it sometimes can affect those with severe allergies. As of right now, it looks to be pretty light and moderate over the next couple of days. Of course, we'll continue to keep you posted on that. We've got another look at those rain chances and cooler temps potentially on the way coming up after the break.
All right, I'm very excited that we have that potential rain and cooler temperatures on the way, but today was toasty for the dads.
Yes, it surely was. We had plenty of sunshine, as we just saw when we looked out there with the time lapse today. That helped high temperatures top off in the upper 90s and low triple digits. Here in San Antonio, we did hit 100 degrees. That was 7 degrees above the average for this time of year of 93 and only 3 degrees below the record of 103 that was set back in 1934. This now makes our 7th triple digit day that we've seen so far in San Antonio this year. And if you remember, which how could we forget, last year set the record for the highest number of triple digit days that we have seen in the Alamo City in a given calendar year at 75. That beat out 2009 at 59. It wasn't just us here in Bexar County that hit 100 today. It was 101 in Pleasanton. Del Rio hit 105. 103 over in Eagle Pass generally was a little bit cooler up in the hill country, 95 in Kerrville and 93 over in New Braunfels. Take a look, though, at this temperature trend over the next 7 days. Yes, still hot tomorrow, upper 90s, feeling like the triple digits in the afternoon. Tuesday, we're down a few degrees, low 90s, so pretty seasonable for this time of year. But by the middle of the week, as we start to see those scattered downpours move into parts of south central Texas, all of that rain-cooled air combined with the added cloud cover could mean that we struggle to climb out of the 80s Wednesday, Thursday, and even into Friday. So it would be welcome changes, yes, in the form of needed rain and also some cooler than average temperatures for late June. And it's all thanks to that tropical disturbance that we will be keeping very close eyes on over the next couple of days as it works across the southwestern Gulf. It is expected to send that thicker tropical moisture into a good chunk of the Lone Star State, helping us raise those rain chances. So if you missed it again, 20 to 30% tomorrow and into Tuesday, pretty isolated into the afternoons, but then a 60% scattered potential into Wednesday and Thursday before we start to see that low pressure system depart to the west and those rain chances taper off a bit more into next weekend. We will need to fine tune those rainfall amounts, what we could see in backyard area rain gauges over the next few days as well. But here's the latest drought monitor update that was released last Thursday. We saw multiple rounds of rain affect different parts of the region last week, and we did see some slight improvement to this pocket of extreme drought across portions of the hill country. Kerrville, you've been trimmed out of that, but you are still very much in that severe drought right now. But generally along and west of the I-35 corridor, we still need a lot of rain as we try to chip away all of this prolonged drought that we've seen in place over the past several years. So we'll cross our fingers and see what we can find this week. Until then, here's a look at current conditions outside right now. 85 over in New Braunfels. It's the same over in Seguin as well as Kerrville. Bernie checking in at 81 this hour. We're going to start off tomorrow morning in the 70s for many locations. Mostly cloudy skies throughout the first half of the day. A few peaks of sunshine into the afternoon. 91 by 1 p.m. and then that forecast high pointed around 97 in the afternoon. Feels like temperatures upwards of 101 to 105. An isolated storm, especially across the coastal plains, not completely off the table. More more of the same, more or less, into Tuesday, and then we'll see if we can find those scattered downpours to move in again. Wednesday, Thursday is going to be the best time frame for that, along with some slightly cooler temperatures.
If we're going to have to deal with the humidity, we better get some rain out of it.
Exactly. We're manifesting all of the good energy.
Yes, need the rain. Thank you, Mia. All right, the big box office question this weekend was not which movie would debut #1, but would it be the biggest opening of the year? Find out next on the Nightbeat.
You have 5 seconds before the door is sealed.
$3.7 million put The Watchers at number 5. The Garfield movie went from 2nd to 4th, taking in $5 million. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes moved up to 3rd place with $5.2 million. It's at $158 million domestic. Bad Boys Ride or Die slipped to 2nd, but $33 million gave the action flick $112 million domestic in just 10 days.
You make Riley happy. Sadness makes her sad. Fear protects her from the scary stuff she can see, and my job is to protect her from the scary stuff she can't see.
A huge debut for Inside Out 2. The animated sequel opened with $155 million, the best box office debut since Barbie last July. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
A shorthanded San Antonio FC visited Indy 11 last night, hoping to avenge its prior run-in with the team that ended in a 2-0 loss. Mary Rominger joins us in the studio for more of what's on instant replay tonight.
Yep,
That's not a great.
Yeah, not an ideal turnout, exactly. And shorthanded due to the fact SCFC has a lengthy injury report. 8 players unavailable with injuries, but the club was still able to play their Eastern Conference foes tough.
You know, season's still long, and we need everybody on board, and we got to pick up points as much as we can in these next couple of games.
Despite playing shorthanded, a missed opportunity on an early penalty kick is what eventually cost San Antonio the game, as the club dropped its 3rd straight.
So I actually, I told someone, like, if I hit a homer, make sure you're touching the bag or you owe me $1,000.
What a wild series between the San Antonio Missions and Midland Rockhounds. Staring a loss in the face, the Missions appealed Midland's game-winning home run. You gotta touch all the bases. You'll hear from the Missions about that crazy ending that lit up social media. We'll also tell you about some history made at the Wolf last night against Corpus Christi. And a special message to a familiar face to Instant Replay. Make sure to vote now. Also on our Instant Replay poll question, should the NFL be more like the UFL with its savvy technology? Drones, robot dogs, extensive comms, you name it. Instant Replay starts right after this next break, Courtney.
It's baby David Sears.
It's baby David Sears.
I love that footage. I can watch that all day. All right, we'll be right back.